This is the Falcons grading for their roster, and I gotta tell you, it's not a great roster. Like, they have a couple superstars, very good players, couple good players, just not a great roster. I'll just tell you that right off the bat. Either way, like and subscribe. Hope you like the video, and if you're a Falcons fan, don't be mad because you guys are gonna you have some very, very, very young superstars. I will get into that. Either way, like and subscribe, and hope you have a good day. And of course, enjoy the video. And this is just my opinion, and it's PFF, all that junk. I'm not gonna go into the grading stuff because for some reason the thing just glitches out. Either way, like and subscribe, enjoy the video, and of course, I gotta tell you this disclaimer: there is absolutely no NFL footage that can be copyrighted for this video. I'm just trying to say that because it's all me, nothing else. Either way, just like and subscribe, enjoy the video. Okay, yeah, guys, so before we even get into this, I just want to say, like, I added depth right here because if you know the NFL, depth is one of the most important things. It doesn't even matter how good your roster is. If you don't have depth for injury and just for the sake of depth, your team's not going to be very good. Of course, we have A, B, C, D, and F. E is nothing. QB, that's what we're grading. Most essential position in football. I'll look heavily on that. Running back, also, least important position in football. Wide receiver, tight end, O-line, D-line, linebacker, cornerback, safety, special teams, offense, defense, depth, and overall. Yeah, the overall grade is going to be important. Either way, let's just get in the roster and start grading. Okay, Matt Ryan, he's a good starting quarterback. He is fringe top 10, but so if you're definite top 10, you're an A caliber quarterback. If you're fringe top 10, you're a high B. Can't give him an A because he's not the same guy he was 2 years ago in 2018, 2017. Before that, 2019, 2020, he was good. I can literally just show you his numbers. I'll show you them right now. Yeah, so Matt Ryan gets a B. So after this, yeah, we're gonna go to the running back, and of course it's not great. Let me just show you. And if anyone cares about the backups, AJ McCarron's fine. He's not great. He was very good at Alabama. He threw for like 5,000 yards. He's an okay backup, not great. Felipe Franks is he's not good. He is a rookie too. So yeah, Mike Davis, and then of course I'm gonna go to the grading first. So yeah, you can just see. So running back, it's not good. Mike Davis he's like a very low end starter and a top 5 backup. Like, he was good with the Panthers. He was not bad. I'll just show you his stats. Literally, like 642 yards, 6 touchdowns, 59 receptions, 373 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's a good receiving back. Not a great runner. He's mediocre, to say the least. He's what you'd call a serviceable back. Cordero Patterson is not a running back. He's a playmaker. That's about it. Quadri Olson, he's never done anything because, for my knowledge, wasn't he like a 5th round pick? No, he's not the 5th round pick. Whatever. There was this guy they picked. He might not be in the team anymore though. Yeah. He doesn't do anything. Let me just put it. Quadri Olson doesn't do anything. He's a decent special teamer, but kind of like the Rams, they don't have any depth. And their running game and their team is one of the worst in the NFL. Tony Brooks James, who the heck knows? He's just not good. Like, they're only talking about Darrell Henderson all of a sudden being good. He will be good because he's on the Rams. Simple as that. I gotta go back to him. Okay, and now we of course come to the wide receivers where The team's actually not even that bad. Calvin Ridley, he's a good receiver. Very good receiver. He's top 15, maybe even top 10. No, not top 10. He's top 15. There's some guys that are very underrated. He's underrated in some aspects of his game, but he's not fully underrated like some of the other guys. Russell Gage, he's a good receiver. Definitely, he's probably number 3, but he can be a low end number 2. He's a decent receiver. Olamide Zaccheaus, he is so explosive, but the thing is, he doesn't get open. Olamide Zaccheaus is very, very, very inconsistent, but he's a good player. Tajae Sharpe, I can tell you all the teams he's been on. He started on the Titans for like 3 years. He was not good on them. He was Then he went to the Vikings, where he did nothing for 1 year. He went to the Chiefs, was on there for like a week, and now he's on the Falcons. Tajae Sharpe is honestly, he's just not good. He's not bad, he's just not very good. Frank Darby, he's just, Christian Blake, he's a special teamer. Cordero Patterson, he's a returner. He can actually be a pretty decent receiver at times. He's really not that bad. Chris Rowland, Anthony Nunn, Juwan Green, none of those guys have ever done anything. They might have only combined for like a catch. Chris Rowland, I know, doesn't have a catch. Antonio Nunn, maybe. Juwan Green, I've never heard of. And then these two guys, no one's heard of. They're in the NFL, so I shouldn't be talking, but still. But they don't really have any depth at the receiver position. Like Cordero Patterson, Tajae Sharpe, they're not that awful, but they're not very good. Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, that makes up for their receiving core, though. It's not bad. It's honestly pretty good. And Olamide Zaccheaus is just inconsistent. He's not a number 3. He's either a number 4 or a number 5. But I like the receiving core. I don't hate it at all. And like I said, I didn't mention one thing about Julio Jones for 2 reasons. The first reason is the most important reason. He's not on the team anymore. There's no point to talk about it. But I will talk about it here. They have an A caliber receiving core with him. They have a C caliber without him because he's the best receiver in the NFL. So Calvin Ridley is a A receiver. Calvin Ridley is an A receiver. They don't have a B receiver. If you have an A receiver and a B receiver, you're getting the benefit of the doubt of the A. They have an AB. They used to have an AB and C receiver. They have an A and a C receiver. They had 2 A's and a C. They have 1 A and a C. I'm giving them the C. I'm not giving them a B. Their depth isn't good. Their depth was never good, but Julio Jones just bumps receiver and core up to a top 10. And top 10, they're a very good receiving core with Julio Jones. But he's not on the team anymore, so it doesn't matter. Either way, now we go to the tight end. And for the sake of anyone, Keith Smith, he's not a good fullback. I'll just say that right off the bat. He's never done anything. He's made some mistakes. He's not a good fullback. Kyle Pitts, he's the best tight end. He's probably the most generational, versatile weapon since, I don't know who to compare him to. Calvin Johnson, how about that? Kyle Pitts is amazing. College, he was awesome at Florida. He's a very good player, and he is going to be one of the best offensive players for the next 10 to 15 years. Hayden Hurst, he's actually a pretty darn good tight end. He was disappointing last year, but he wasn't even really that bad. Like, look at Hayden Hurst's stats. He's like a starter on 12 NFL teams. Like 56 receptions, 571 touchdowns, 571 yards and 6 touchdowns. Those are not bad stats. Yeah, they're not great stats, but they're decent stats for a tight end. And he's not a bad blocker. Lee Smith, he's always been a solid tight end. I really like their depth at this position. Jaden Graham, nah. They have a really good tight end room. I'll just put it out that way. And yeah, you're not going to get a better backup tight end on most teams. Starting tight end and a third string tight end. So they get an A. They have one of the best tight end rooms in the NFL. It is awesome. It is very strong. Better than a lot of the NFL teams. It's definitely top 5. I'd say 4 or 3. They just got a couple. They got a really good tight end room. I like it. Either way, now it's the offensive line and the defensive line. Those are the trenches as you know them. Going into the trenches, we have starting off with Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews is a B caliber, very solid left tackle. He is not top. He's honestly more average than anything, but he's better than average because he's getting paid like he's top. He's a good player though. He's not. He's always been solid. Yeah, maybe he's not. What was he picked? I'm gonna just check. I think it was 8th. He was top 10. I know that. Or was he 6th? Yeah. He's not a 6th overall pick, but you can't really get mad about it. It's kind of like Clelin Ferrell. They've been solid NFL players. They have not been busts. They've been the most secure players. Oh yeah, and if anyone cares, Alex Okafor is back on the Chiefs because they don't really want Kenny Clark, and they kind of, tell you the truth, Kansas City, like, they can't have Chaco Charlton rushing the passer. He's just not good. Matt Gano, he's just been injured. He's not a very good player. He's a D at best. Josh Andrews isn't actually that bad. And Jalen Mayfield will start. I will say that. Jalen Mayfield is going to be a good player. So I'm going to have him start. Matt Gano, just not very good. Jalen Mayfield should start if I were them. Work him up. Matt Hennessy, he's another shaky player. Not great. Jalen Mayfield's going to start here, so I can't really say anything bad about him because when he was at Michigan, he wasn't bad. Chris Lindstrom is amazing. He has been one of the best right guards in the NFL. Pro Football Focus doesn't really like him, but to tell you the truth, he's really good. I can just show you what Chris Lindstrom is. He is a very solid player. Let's see how long it takes to load. Yeah, 77.1 for an inside player on being the best offensive lineman on his team. Yeah, he is very underrated. People got to recognize him. He's very good. Kaleb McGary, another guy. He's good. Not amazing, but he's good. These two guys are so solid. Matt Ryan has not had problems with his right side of the offensive line. It's mainly the left guard and the center that have been the problems for the past 2 years. Alex Mack has not been good there since 2018. Jake Matthews, he's been solid, just not great. And so yeah, this right side is this right guard, Chris Lindstrom and Kaleb McGary. They've been very solid at the positions. Yeah, their O-line is probably a C. They have 2 Bs. No, they actually have 3 B players on their offensive line, but it's not there yet for me to give them the B. They will probably be a B. I can just say that because their offensive line will be better than it was last year. I can just say that. The thing is, though, the center and the guard are tough. There's a difference between the guard. If there's 4 offensive linemen that are solid, they're getting a B. 3 with 2 very shaky positions, it's tough for me to say that. But now we go on to the D-line, so yeah. And this is the D-line, and it's probably the best part of the team. Maybe other than, I don't know, special teams. I'm just joking. Yeah, this D-line is stacked, especially in the middle. Grady Jarrett, Tyler Davidson, 2 very, 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 very underrated defensive tackles. They are awesome in the run game. Pass game, they're not great. Grady Jarrett's good, but Tyler Davidson isn't. Their run defense is, oh my goodness. Those 2 guys, they're not missing any blocks. They're gonna beat their men. They're gonna generate pressure. Marlon Davidson, brother of Tyler Davidson, he needs to work on his things, but he's fine. And he's a rookie, you gotta remember that. Jacob Tuuti Mariner, they have to put Brandon Copeland in there. Brandon Copeland is a much better edge man than Jacob Tuuti Mariner. He's first year starting. Maybe he'll be okay, but Brandon Copeland has to start there. Dante Fowler Jr., he's definitely an average player. Rams, he was a B because of Wade Phillips. I don't care what people say. Wade Phillips was the reason that Dante Fowler was as good as he was in 2019. Simple as that. He stunk last year. Only had 3.5 sacks. 2.5. You don't count the one he had in Brady, where Brady literally just let him go on him. I'm not gonna show that replay because there's no point in doing that. And yeah, the D line is this is an A caliber D tackles. The edgemen are kind of weak, so it's not going to get what it probably deserves. Yeah, so they're getting a B. They deserve a B. Like, it's not bad. Like, they have a really good line. They have a very solid middle. Dante Fowler's we don't know what the heck's happening on the edge for them. But I hope it's going to be good because it's fun watching their defensive line play. I just got to say that. And now linebackers, because this is another big. Yeah, so this is kind of tough to grade. Like, Foyesade Oluokun, he is a solid but not great player. Deion Jones is a game-changing linebacker. Michael Walker is not great. Brandon Copeland is an edge man. He should be on the edge. They got to put him on the edge because if they don't, this can be bad. Yeah, I don't really care about you, Wentz. Like, you stunk. Michael Walker he's average. Deion Jones is awesome, and Foyesade Oluokun is pretty good too. Overall, it deserves it deserves a pretty good one, but I'm not gonna give him it because call this a snub, but I don't love it. They most definitely probably deserve a B, but I can't give it to them. Like, they definitely have a top 10 linebacker in Deion Jones, but I just don't love their guys off the ball in the other two. Like, they're not physical enough where I'm like, man, those two guys will make a play every time. Like, they're solid because they never give up the big play. They never get beat off the edge or anything like that. Michael Walker especially. And Foyesade Oluokun is better in the pass game than probably Michael Walker. But I just want to say it's just so tough to think of them not getting a C because those two aren't what I say as really good. They have a game changer and 2 question marks. Now my favorite part of the video, cornerbacks. Cornerbacks are so hard to grade for a couple reasons. 1, because they're all different, and 2, because it's kind of hard to grade them, to tell the truth. AJ Terrell, he is going to be good. He had a very surprising rookie season. Nothing special, but he was probably the best rookie corner. I'm just saying that because most of them stunk. Jalen Johnson, he was better, but he didn't do. AJ Terrell, he didn't give up any like what the heck touchdowns. He did his job. Isaiah Oliver is very average to below average. I just don't like him. He's never been good. That's just the truth. Kendall Sheffield is the guy you want on Tyreek Hill, and when he was on Tyreek Hill, he covered him. He just doesn't have that agility side to sideways. He can fly, but he just doesn't have what you need to be a great corner. Fabian Moreau is probably the best cornerback here. He is very technically sound and can do his job. Delrick Abrams and Darren Hall are both solid special teamers. Tyler Hall and Chris Williamson. I've honestly only seen Tyler Hall play because he had this big turf play from training camp a couple years ago. But what I wanted to say is Darren Hall and Delrick Abrams, they're pretty good special teamers. But these 4 guys, they're not great. They're not bad. It's a pretty average cornerback room, to say the least. So, like I said, it's kind of hard to give them anything less than a C because they've been average. They have a pretty average cornerback room, but this is where the secondary gets weak. So now we're gonna go into the part of the depth chart where it's weak. There's a reason there. Things like why is their defense so bad? Like their linebackers aren't too bad. Their corners aren't awful. Their D line is pretty good. Why are they bad? It's their safeties, to say the least. Sorry to say it, but it is. DeMonte Casey was there. They got a ton of balls thrown at him. A lot of them were touchdowns, big gains. Not a lot of incompletions. Couple picks, but Keanu Neal wasn't a great cover guy. Sorry to say that for you guys, Cowboys fans, but you're getting a run support man. That's about it. But and hard hitter. Safety is tough to grade for this team because Duron Harmon was good on the Pats and crap on the Lions. I don't think he'll be good because he won't be. Richie Grant's a rookie. He was a second-round pick. I think 4th pick in the second round. He's a good player. I like him. He won't do good though because he's in their secondary. Eric Harris is not good, and the rest of these guys, besides J.R. Pace, I've never heard of. Jalen Hawkins, get lost, dude. You've been so bad when you played. But Duron Harmon's not going to be good. Richie Grant's not going to be good. It's not absolutely awful, though, because Richie Grant could honestly be like AJ Terrell. He won't be great, but I want him to do good because he's their only hope. So, yeah, their safety group gets a big D. It's one of the worst parts of their team. It's not as bad as people think it is, but it's not very good. It's weak. They haven't really tried to improve it. Richie Grant is gonna be good, but he's just not gonna be what they need per se. They need a superstar to turn it around. Just to say that. And now they have to go to the special teams. Okay, Younghoe Koo is one of the best kickers in the NFL because when 2019 he wasn't great, but he was certainly not bad. Sterling Horfrichter, he's average. Dom Maggio, I don't even know what he does. He might hold, which he should hold because Sterling Horfrichter, no offense, but you shouldn't be holding the ball considering what happens with the Falcons. Cordero Patterson is one of the best returners in the NFL. He is the best returner in the NFL. So that's going to definitely inflate their thing. And Younghoe Koo is also good. He's one of the best special team units in the NFL. Chris Rowland's average. Josh Harris is a very good long snapper. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna grade them. They have a very good special team unit. Yeah, so if anyone cares, yeah, their special team unit is one of the best in the NFL. Superstar kicker, superstar returner, good, very solid kicker, punter, and punt returner. So their field game is pretty good, but I don't love it. And now to the depth, offense, defense, depth overall. So offense, so they have an A, a B, a C, and a D. So overall, I'm going to give them a B, just to the benefit of the doubt, because they have a good offense. Their offense is not bad. Partly because their quarterback is top 10, fringe top 10, but it's better than what you would want in most offenses, than what most teams have. It's an above average offense. Defense is not a D. They have a B, C, and C, but it is a C defense. It's not one of the worst in the league. It's just not great. Could give them a D. I probably should, but no. Their depth is bad. They don't have any depth. Other than tight end, not wide receiver, some offensive linemen, and defensive line, they have no depth at all. It's not very good. And if a team has depth, those are the teams that are going to go far. It's happened every year. Let me just say, the Bucks, they had probably the most depth out of any NFL team. They won the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, they don't have a ton of depth, but they have a lot of superstars, and surprisingly, they have a good depth. Packers, ton of depth. Bills, oh my goodness, I love the Bills roster. Rams, we'll talk about that later. Either way, overall they get a C. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, in my opinion. They're not going to be good. But either way, we'll get to the end. And either way, like and subscribe. That's the end of the grading for the Falcons. We'll go to the next one after this. But either way, like and subscribe. Hope you have a good day and enjoy this grading. So, Falcons get a C. They are probably a D caliber team, but they have a better roster than that in terms of the analysis if you go deep dive. Either way, like and subscribe. Hope you have a good day.